What's good? Uh, I'm getting ready to talk a little bit about recovery. Um, and I want to talk about it from a different perspective. If you've been attending 12 step groups, NA, AA, whatever, wherever you go for your support, um, you hear a lot of stuff there that is ritualistic. Like you hear how it works at every meeting, you hear the format of the meeting. You kind of learn the etiquette of the meeting, the do's and don'ts, um, all of that stuff. Like if you've been to 12-step meetings, you know that. But what I'm talking about now is a little bit outside of the scope of that because it requires you to think outside of the box. I'm talking about real shit. That's the only way I can relate to it is just by keeping it 100 about my experiences in my life and what I went through and what I go through every day in my fight and my struggle to maintain my sobriety. Um, there haven't been a lot of times in my life where I just decided that this life wasn't working for me and I'm just gonna stop getting high or whatever I was doing that was causing turmoil in my life. Um, every time I stopped, there had to be some type of intervention, and for me, that intervention was prison. Um, I committed a lot of crimes to support my drug habit, and I've taken time, thinking like maybe if I'm incarcerated for a while, I can get myself together and I'll be okay. Of course, time never sufficed. I would always get out and go back to the same environment and do the same thing. But that's not really what my point is. My point is that um, I was never ever able to just stop using drugs on my own. Lack of power, that was my dilemma. Despite all the evidence that I needed to stop and that this was going to either end my life, risk my freedom, like all of that, I said that all those things were okay. Um, up until a few years ago, um, my track record is I usually get out and do very well and then, go around old people, places, and things. And somehow I always end up relapsing. But this last time, I got a couple solid breaks, met a couple very influential people who helped me in my recovery. Um, and then that type of life was too routine, something wasn't right. I stopped plugging in, stopped doing what I had done to get me where I was. I basically was on the west side of Chicago using heroin and got tired one day. Got on the Madison bus, went to Haymarket, a treatment center in Chicago, and just checked myself in. Eventually ended up working there through a work program. Stayed there almost 9 months. Um, so that was the first time ever in my life that I willingly just left the streets and went into treatment uh, just because I was tired. So the reason why I'm sharing that with you is um, when drug addiction becomes the consequences for drug addictions become so high, like you just out there, anything goes. It's all bad. Um, Making the decision to change from that is scary, it's unfamiliar, and then um, you're gonna take my drug of choice away. Like I'm out here living for this shit. I'm out here living to get high, to give me a bag of dope, to give me a rock, whatever it is that you do. This has become my world, and I know going into treatment or going into jail, even though I don't want to do that. Nobody wants to get locked up, but in the back of your mind, you really be thinking like, damn, I know I'm finna be dope sick in here or jonesing or whatever the case may be, and this is gonna be bad. But in the end, at least I'm safe. Like I don't like this. I want to be out getting high so bad, but you can't. So making a decision like that or whatever happened to me transitioned in my mind and made me do that was the first time that had ever happened. So the first step says that we admitted that we were powerless over whatever and that our lives had become unmanageable. Like, so that's essentially what I did. Like, this is too much. And I'm not willing to still accept the same consequences that I accepted yesterday as a result of this. So I better go check in. So that's what I did. Now, after being there for 9 months and seeing myself get better, my skin clearing up, me gaining weight, getting my thoughts back, all of this transformation that has previously happened in the penal institution is now happening. I'm at liberty. I leave and go every day. I don't have to be there. I'm not in jail, but I'm choosing to stay. So that's step 2. Now I believe that whatever it is that brought me here, once I admitted that this drugs was too much for me, can't handle this no more. And now I see that this is working. That's step 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, because I'm here. I'm not forced to be here, but I'm staying here. That's step 2, right? Somehow, through the course of my story, I ended up relapsing. I was working at Haymarket at night through a work program that ended, and I ended up getting another job, but I just, for some reason, what was going on was just too routine. Used to chaos and all this. So I relapsed and I hid it for a while, but they say it'll tell on you. You don't got to say nothing, and that's so true. Addiction is so hard to conceal, it isn't like anything, some people say alcohol is so obvious because you can smell it, but I think it's easier, for me, it would be easier to conceal being drunk than it would being high. But anyway, this brings me to the meat and potatoes of what I want to talk about. It's step 3. I am a step 3. That's like my favorite step, because in my opinion, if you do not internalize the 3rd step, you can't go no further. Let me break it down for you. First of all, 3rd step says, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity. That's step 2. Step 3 says, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him, right? The first words that jump out at me, I made a decision. So I think probably it would be safe to say that a decision is a position or a judgment reached after consideration, right? Like when I went over there to Craig and them to get some dope, because they had the bestest dope on the west side, but they said 20 minutes, and I had already traveled 2 hours to get to them. But when I hit the spot, they said 20 minutes. And if you get high, 20 minutes ain't never 20 minutes. 20 minutes could be 2 hours, 2 days, They say that to keep the customers on the block, making them think that it's coming, but they don't know. They at the mercy of whoever got the dope. So that's happened a few times. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because my mind took in all the possible alternatives to Craig and them not having no dope at that moment. I'm on limited time. I got to get back. I came all the way out here sick, and now y'all talking about 15 minutes. I already been out here half an hour. The line long. Police could drive down the street and arrest us all. Now I got to go to jail sick. So my mind is contemplating the alternatives to this dilemma. I know dude and them got dope down the street, but it ain't as good as this. And they bag small. And Buddy and them be whooping people. And I call dude, but then I got to get to him to get it. I mean, like all of these things played out in my head because at the core of it, I wanted some dope and I was sick. So my mind took in all of those different alternatives and came up with a solution. This is how we gonna move. Like, and to me, that's what a decision is. You know, it's a position reached after you've considered the alternatives. Only problem here, when you sober, or me, I should say, um, the will, the definition of will, it's the power over all your cognitive thoughts, your desires, your emotions. You know, like I've equated all this about my recovery, and I like how I'm feeling right now. And so, yes, I'm willing to make the decision that I'm turning this over to something that's greater than me because so far it's been working. Like the desires that I had when I was getting high was being driven by something, and so they were all flawed, which undoubtedly influences my perception about things even now. That's why I need some type of 12-step program or structure to reintroduce me to me. The only problem is everywhere I go, there I am. So the same gifts of recovery that came when I first said I got a problem and I need some help, I went to go get the help, and then I saw the help being sustained. Like the desire to go get some dope was just like not important when I had money in my pocket, which is step two. I saw that after the admission that there's something here that can keep me where I am. The cutoff is the decision because these things had worked like really without me having just other than the desire to change the atmosphere that I had been in when I was getting high. There was no effort on my part, just the willingness to do what I needed to do to get better, but where that desire came from, I couldn't tell you, but I really didn't have to do anything, but just I knew what not to do, right? But when you get to the third step, it requires you to do something. This is a conscious decision that what has sustained me this far, what made me get on the Madison bus and go to Haymarket and check myself in, whatever that force was that drove me to do that, can keep me here. But now I got to make the decision that I am going to allow it to keep me here. Hence the third step. We made a decision to turn our will and our life over to the care of something greater than me, right? So when I was getting high, it was all about me and what I wanted and when I wanted to get it and how I got it and everything else. Selfish, self-centered, self-will, king baby, all that, takes a lot to get out of that. You just can't stop getting high because you're going to end up getting high again. Nothing has changed. Abstinence doesn't constitute sobriety. Like, you're smart enough to know that already. But the reason why this step is so important is because it requires action on the person who professes that I can't do this. I like the person that I've become. Like I was so many times I've been mesmerized with that guy. This guy sitting here. Like I like how he look, I like his swag, I like all of that. But I'm not willing to invest my time, like this is a disruption to the things that I'm used to. I'm used to throwing tantrums. I'm used to being bitter and angry at people for no reason. I'm used to painting a false portrait of myself, lying, manipulating, people pleasing, fear of rejection, like all that stuff right here. Ain't really dealt with none of it. But I want the benefit of the sobriety. So I go ahead and have cop, Yeah, I went to a meeting today. Went to no damn meeting. I got a sponsor. No sponsor. I'm sober. Not sober. Sober and going to meetings. What part of your brain, see that, even that wear off after a while because you know what the rooms represent. You know what's there already. The spirit radiates from it, And so once you fall And the guilt, shame, and remorse says, like, you don't got to tell nobody. This is just temporary. You don't want this life. So just keep doing what you're doing because that has worked. Only one big mistake just happened. Like, I just broke the cardinal rule of 12-step roots. I relapsed. But this is the brain of an addict, alcoholic. I'm still going to go around the rooms, just not going to say nothing. They don't know what happened with me. And we'll even talk. Give a lead. Chair a meeting. Yes. Yeah. Because I'm sick. I'm selfish. I'm self-centered. See, all of these 7 deadly sins, all of this comes along with addiction. And it takes conscious action, realizing that this is the person that I am. This is who I've become. And if I really, really, really have the desire to get outside of all of this and say, I'm willing to start over. Can you accept constructive criticism? Do you always got to be right? Are you a people pleaser? Are you needy? Do you need validation? Whatever it is, it's going to take conscious effort on your part, acknowledging the same way you did when you was getting high, the same way I did when I got tired of doing dope and I was sleeping in the bandos, pissing in bottles inside of a car because it was too cold to get out. That. Whatever that is, or whatever that was for you, now here is the solution. Am I willing to let go of that person? First of all, because I'll be trying to still be Danny, the old dude that was stealing out of Walmart, fencing stuff, finding receipts on the ground, going in Walgreens, stealing the stuff that was on the receipt to get the cash back. That was me. Collecting cans, whooping people, whatever I had to do. So that person will try to merge itself with this guy who is sober, but the sobriety is so precarious, shaky, unstable, unbalanced, because it's just the mirror of what you see. There's no foundation here. I'm just intoxicated with the thought of being clean, sober, different life. Got a little bit now. But power is nothing without control. You could be the fastest runner in the world, but in the pair of stilettos, ain't gonna go real far. So now all the stuff that I neglected myself of, I'm reaping the rewards of that through my sobriety. And I have a disease that really is cunning, baffling, and powerful. It tells me all I need to christen this with is a 211, pint of Henny, a blunt, some pussy. Excuse my language. I have a disease that tells me that that's okay. After all I just went through, everything I just fought for, all of that, suspend all of that information. This one thought overrides all of that because it's so intoxicating to me. I'm looking for an escape. So guess what I do? I escape. Just like that. No questions. Fuck what I'm going to lose. Forget the consequences. I got this. I'm in control of this. That's what this disease tells me. I can handle it. I'm unique. I'm different. I don't got to do all that. Shit, I work every day. I pay my bills. Yeah. But it's just a matter of time. I promise you. It's just a matter of time. And the disease shows its ugly head. Something happens, some interruption to the world that you're so accustomed to that you're managing right now. You interpret that management as power. You running the show again. making it happen against the odds, because all these people can't do this. They said they was real alcoholics and real drug addicts, and you know that you were one, but you out here working, being responsible and everything, but you getting high. You're getting high. So despite all the information you know about this disease and how cunning it is, you unplug, stop calling people, stop hanging around with, everything that drawed you to this and sustained you for a period of time. You suspended that. Now you're just out here because this is where it's gonna go bad. The relapse happened probably months ago. You've been fucking up for a while, in denial about it. But now there's been an interruption. Don't know, car breakdown, lose your job, girl break up with you. I don't know. When I say it's disruption, y'all know what that means. Something happens. It changes things. And it gets a little bit worse. It always gets a little worse, and we just go along with it. Play the tape back from the good job in the car to the car getting repoed to your girl putting you out the house to you staying with Tyrone and whose sister get out in the basement. Then that wears out. Now you on the street, staying at the shelter. In between the shelter and the streets, you just ride the train, donate plasma twice a week, but you could just see the slow progression and how I was so willing, like seeing people going to work every day, like, what the fuck? Like I was doing that shit. Seeing people in front of you in line at the store, not knowing whether you got enough, and they got all these 20s and 50s in their pocket finna pay for their stuff. Like they got a real life, and you just in this motherfucker with your disease. It's bad. It's bad. So I guess really what I'm saying is drugs, narcotics, mood, mind altering chemicals, like, really fucked me up. It's been my whole life. I struggle with relationships today because of all of this shit. And I'm only sharing a portion of it with you. It's deeper than this. So this is a real challenge. It's a challenge. Every day is different. I learn a little bit more about myself. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes I can't say how I feel because I'm a man. Like, I'm used to working hard, getting what I want. I just got promoted on my job. Supposed to start training next Monday. There's only 2 other black people in my department. Thought they was my boys. But since I got this promotion now, I'm just Uncle Tom. Everything I do is wrong. Like, I haven't even got it yet. I haven't even started training for it. Like they don't see that if I would be the second black foreman at this place in their 37-year history. They don't see, like, if I win, you win. Like, we all. So they said some shit to me Friday that really fucked with me. Like, that's why I say, like, I had a right to remain silent. Like, I've been the person that stuffed my feelings all my life, and whatever you said, I was okay with it, even if I wasn't okay with it. So knowing when to, like, not express how you really feel and when to do it, I'm still learning that shit. Like, can't break down at fucking work and start crying, nigga. Like, what the fuck? But I was hurt by what they said. You know, I got a picture that we all took together. And I was like, wow, man. You know, so it says practice these principles in all our affairs. Like everything that I do, these are spiritual principles to which I know nothing about. And things happen in the most the craziest shit. Things materialize where you wouldn't expect them to. Like, I got into an altercation with a dude. Like, they got zero tolerance for violence at my job. Somebody was killed there some years ago inside the plant. But you can't tell nobody you're going to whoop their ass, not even playing. You know, like, that's very, very serious. I knocked the guy out. I knocked the guy out at my job. Like, maybe 2 months ago. And he didn't say nothing. He didn't say nothing. So now I've gotten promoted. Don't know how. If this happens, this will be the highest paying job I've ever had in my 48 years of life. How did that happen? How did I even get to Detroit? You know, like, I left Chicago coming here with 2 bags of dope, worried about when them run out and I got to go through this dope sickness. That's how I came to Detroit. So it's staying low. Like, I know I still got a lot of work. I'm quick-tempered. I spaz sometimes for no reason, but I'm trying to get better. It's been a long, hard journey. Still is every day. But I'm a good person. Like, I'm not out here hurting anybody today. You know, like, I put my best foot forward. I went to work. I worked hard when I was at work. I can lay down at night and sleep. I don't owe nobody nothing. My bills are paid. I'm safe. Got a car outside. I have a bank account. There's money in it. No warrants. Not on parole. I'm not in a relationship, but that's okay. I'm kind of trying to get to know me. I really don't feel like I need to be in a relationship. I'm fucked up. You know? But I'm a man. I want companionship and shit. I'm just not even sure I can be me. Most of the time, I'm not even me. So there's definitely value in really, really internalizing these steps. Because fuck what they mean to the other people. They can give all the fucking leads they want and talk about all of these principles with their big book thumping ass. And, you know, it's fine. What matters is how I internalize it. You know, I put a whole lot of fucking effort into killing myself not too long ago. A lot of effort. Why would this be any different? Why get over here and be lazy? Like, I say I want it, but I don't act like it. I'm irresponsible. I procrastinate. I'm a liar. Whatever. I'm learning. I'm learning. I mean, like, I'm not afraid to show you who I am. Ask me. Ask me. If you're recovering from anything, like, we're going through all this virus shit, but wherever you at this point in your life, like, I send positive energy towards you, even if I don't really fuck with you like that. Somehow, if you see this video and you don't know who I am, shit, that make two of us. I'm learning who I am. So, you can judge. I don't give a fuck. I always say I don't give a fuck, but really I do give a fuck. But I don't give a fuck. Like, I know there's nothing that I could do about whatever your opinion of me is. Anyway, I've been talking 30 minutes. This be my longest talk ever. And I don't edit this shit. Like, I watch what I record, but I never edit it. I just put it out there. Even if there's some parts of it that I don't like, wish I would have said differently. My therapist said editing is cheating. It needs to be, and she left it up to me whom I wanted to share it with, if I wanted to share it at all. But she says that I'm growing. And I think I'm growing too. Like, I'm talking about this shit to my phone. Wow. So, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I just know I've been talking 30 minutes and I gotta end this shit. So, if I shared this with you, it's because I love you and I fuck with you. Peace.